Welcome to Video Guys News Day Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a show letting you know about the products we sell. We talk about the products, we talk about the workflows, we talk about solutions, product carriers. Today's show is a little of both. We're going to talk about the SlingStudio, a phenomenal product. We've done a bunch of webinars on it in the past and videos on our website. We're going to talk about the new features that are available in the Sling, and we're also going to talk about how the Sling is being used by educators, teachers, and students. It's real important because the Sling offers an opportunity into that vertical that other products don't because of its affordability and ease of use. We're going to get into that. But first I want to start with a little overview about the product. So once again, perfect for schools, teachers, and students. Ed, I'm a little behind on the slides today. I don't know why, so just give me a point if I forget to show the one that I'm supposed to show. All right. How affordable is it? $9.99 for the hub. That's the base hub without the battery. This will run on AC. The hub allows you to handle multi-cameras to come in. What is the SlingStudio hub exactly? What does it do? We're going to tell you what it's good for before we get into that. I got to remember the order of the slides, Ed. All right, what do we got? Perfect for campus-wide use. Why? You can use it for sporting events, classroom lectures, school board meetings, PTA conferences, broadcast education, theater performances, competitions, robotic league, club activities, distance learning, alumni outreach, you name it. Video is the way to go. Video is what is making people watch and pay attention. The truth of the matter is most people today skim read. They don't really deep read stuff. A video is a great way to get people interested in products. The world has found out that the second biggest search engine in the world is YouTube behind Google, and that's where people go to learn about stuff with how-to videos and use cases and videos like our webinar today, which while it's live today on Facebook, will be available for download on our YouTube page for all eternity starting sometime later today. All right, I want to show a video now of how Clemson is using the SlingStudio to enhance and elevate their production capabilities for the university. It's a great success story, so roll that video, Eddie.
SlingStudio has allowed us to adhere to our brand guidelines within that live broadcast. We produce mostly on DSLR and mirrorless cameras for the cinematic and filmic looks.
SlingStudio was really exciting for us to be able to match up the quality level. We can bring that cinematic look to the Facebook Live, so we're really just scratching the surface of what we can do.
SlingStudio allows us to capture and cover events in scale
And not have to sacrifice the quality. So thankful to SlingStudio for their partnership, really excited for all the things ahead in 2018.
Cool, so that's a great video. I want to talk about how easy it is to integrate the SlingStudio with your existing gear. First of all, I'll show you right here, it's got an HDMI input jack. That means any camera that gives you full video output can be plugged directly into the HDMI jack right here. Now, a little tech note about full video output. A lot of older DSLRs, the output via the HDMI cable include like the focus and the menus, and that won't work for streaming. You've got to have what we call a clean output. Most new DSLRs do. If you have an older one, there's a list on the Videoguys site and on the Sling website where you could get the list of DSLRs that work. But HDMI in, but even cooler, they have this thing called the Camera Link. And let's get a close-up on that, Eddie. The Camera Link is an HDMI encoder that talks directly to the SlingStudio via Wi-Fi and allows you to take any HDMI camera, plug it into here, and it becomes a source to the studio. Now, what's cool about that? The SlingStudio is an independent Wi-Fi hub, so it has its own Wi-Fi spread of antennas in here that'll talk to the Cam Link, and it'll also talk to phones, cell phones, Android devices, or iOS devices that have the app running. So they all become potential sources into the SlingStudio as well, which really opens up the whole world, because now you can have kids at a football game getting crowd shots. If you're on a budget, you can have people doing you don't have to have cameras where you can't fit cameras in the room. Maybe you're shooting in a car where it's really tight. Or if you just want to bring some extra sources in, you can get that camera feed, the phone feed along with your camera feed. So that's very cool. It'll work with your existing equipment. It takes output. It goes via Wi-Fi, or you can use this with an adapter to go Ethernet in order to get wired output into your network to be able to transmit onto the web. It'll go straight to Facebook, YouTube Live, or any CDN that accepts an RTMP stream. Ed, I see today I have looking at the wrong camera-itis again, so I'll try to look at the front camera this time and get it right. Hey, there's Jorge, who is a Sling user and a big fan of Videoguys and Sling, so welcome aboard, Jorge. Thanks for joining our video. Affordable, budget-friendly solution. This is something when we're talking about education, I got to really beat this on you guys, and that is a lot of educators think if I want to put video production, multi-camera shoots in my classroom, I need $10,000 or more. Well, that's simply not true. What I'm showing here is $1,800, $1,846 gets you a multicam bundle that includes the Sling hub. It's going to give you the hub, a battery, 2 camera links. That is tremendous. You can now do up to 3 cameras because remember the hub can take one on its own. It'll use existing off-the-shelf cameras that you have. One of the cameras we love recommending to schools getting started are the inexpensive Canon Vixia cameras. They're $299 a piece. So let's add 2 of those cameras or 3 of them for $1,000. You're at $2,800 including cameras. You need an iPad to operate the whole thing. Let's add $300 more. You're at $3,100. You've got a complete 3-camera multicam system live streaming. Not $10,000. Actually, if you think about it, you could buy 2 or 3 of them for 10 grand, and that's really amazing. I want to go through all the pricing of the different products that make up the Sling family now because I threw some stuff quickly at you. The hub is $999. The camera links are $349 each. The battery is $149, and definitely if you're going to be portable in the field, I recommend you have 2 batteries. There's the USB-C expander that I showed you, which is $49, and then there's a custom carrying case that, you know what, it's over here on the floor. Can you grab the case for me? Jay? She's going to bring it over to me. I'm sorry, I'm ad-libbing. I know the production team hates when I do this. But this is an actual case that we've shown in some other videos. This case is customized to not only take in the Sling and all the parts and all the pieces, but it'll hold your laptop or your your iOS device. I want to just open this so you can see all the cool little pouches in here where stuff can go. So it's a really clever product. It's $199, which I know seems expensive, but it's completely customized. And if you're going to be using it in a school situation, and the SlingStudio stuff is going to be passed around from department to department, student to student, I recommend getting the backpack because now you know everything's being put away and living in the right place. So sorry about that ad lib, Eddie. I should have let you know I needed it. It could have been on the table or certainly behind me. Okay. Let's talk about one of the challenges schools have, and that's a typical video production studio has a lot of expensive gear. Not only is that gear expensive, often it's in a single room on campus, the production studio where you've got this expensive gear, the cameras, and that's the only place you can really shoot the videos. It also means that that classroom or that lab also has a dedicated teacher to it. So video production is limited to the amount of seats, the amount of kids you can get in the classroom, and what availability and time you have for that teacher in that classroom. Well, that doesn't open up a lot of opportunities. With the SlingStudio, like we showed, you can have it all packed up in a backpack and multiple people can be using it whenever they need it. And it's so easy to use and it can be taken anywhere, on or off campus. So it can be used by any department, no problem. It doesn't require an expert user. We laugh about the Sling all the time, but the truth of the matter is, if you order a Sling on Monday and get it on Wednesday, you'll have no problem producing a show over the weekend. It's really that simple. I'm not going to say you're going to be able to produce a show in an hour, but if you can't produce a show in a couple of days, there's something wrong. It's really that simple, that easy. We like to say it's the only multi-camera streaming solution that comes with its own easy button. So it makes technology easier for schools to justify because so many more children and students can get their hands on it. The single SlingStudio bundle can be used by 100 different kids. Next, it's an affordable and fun way to give students hands-on learning. We've all heard about STEM or STEAM, which is science, technology, arts, engineering, mathematics. It's very big, very important, and all K through 12 schools are adopting it in some way or other. Well, what better STEAM project is there than putting out live videos? You could be making commercials, you can do school reports, you can do news reports to the schools, or if you're a high school, you can even do better. The theater kids can be streaming their own productions. You got a competition, maybe robotics. Let's bring the Sling to the robotics meet and get all the robotics goodness up there. Maybe you've got a moot court or a League of Nations or a debate club. Bring the video. Not only can you stream the video, but you can record it and play it back for the kids so they can learn, critique, and use that for feedback to get better. So SlingStudio has so many ways to be used in such a wide variety. It opens up so much possibilities for schools, and that's what we really think is so amazing. And the other thing that I want to mention that's important is The software for the Sling to be the app on the iOS device or a MacBook Pro, it only runs on iOS. There's a very good reason for that. The Sling folks have to know that the machine that it's going to run on has the horsepower, has the right configuration to make it work. That's why it's limited to iOS devices or MacBook Pros, or an iMac. But the software also is free software that can run on any Android or iOS camera phone, smartphone, to turn that into a source to feed the Sling Hub. It's free software. It's no commitments. It's not a subscription. I know a lot of educators have problems with subscription models where the school's just like, we can't do that because we don't know if we're going to have the money for it in a year or what have you. I know students and teachers don't like subscription models because in the summer they're not necessarily using it. You know, they just want to know they own it and they have it. And that's the beauty of this. It means every kid with every phone in the class can put the app on their phone, and when they come in contact with the hub that's on, they can be streaming video. Let's take an example of how multi-camera live sports are being done. Here's another great video for you guys.
Before SlingStudio, we really were limited to just one angle, and you just had to find the right angle or run around trying to get all the shots that you could. We can take a camera, we could set it down someplace, capturing this over here and that over here without having to move one single camera. And we don't have to worry about wires. Because the setup is simple for SlingStudio, it allows us a lot more time before the actual game starts to powwow and have a game plan on how we're going to actually attack this game and what we could do better. Without SlingStudio, we wouldn't have started doing the football games. This really was the catalyst to get us into live streaming games.
All right, so I went into some of the uses and why it's such a good choice for educators, for students, and teachers. Let's dig a little deeper into the actual feature sets of the SlingStudio. It's easy, portable, and affordable. Let's go into why and how. This thing is really easy to set up. You connect any HDMI camera to the hub and you're streaming. If you want to add multiple cameras, use the camera links and you're good to go. $349. You can add up to 10 sources with the SlingStudio. Now the application, the SlingStudio app, will only let you mix 4 live at a time, but you can have the other 6 on deck to switch into the live mix anytime you want. You can use an iPhone or an Android phone as a source. You can also record directly to the SD card, which goes right in the port here, an SD card. So if you need an SD card, you got it. And then you can stream directly to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or any RTMP CDN. I mentioned that RTMP is really the standard that's used by all the streaming stuff now. And if your school's going to set up their own private CDN, or maybe it's a house of worship or their own CDN that's a church worship CDN, whichever that is, they pretty much all take RTMP at this point. You know, Vimeo takes RTMP, Twitch takes RTMP, Periscope takes RTMP. So if you got RTMP, you can go anywhere. All right, let's bring this graphic up full screen for a little bit, Eddie. This is kind of like all the goodies together and kind of how they work. So you can see you've got the studio, the SlingStudio with the battery pack. We've got some camera links. We've got an HDMI in. There's an audio jack for an audio mixer. There's a USB-C adapter that I showed that you can use either to plug into the Ethernet, or you can use it to go into the drives. If you want to go into a USB 3 drive to maybe save all your video and then record it later. We're going to go into that workflow a little bit. I keep calling it the app. It's really the console app. That's what runs everything on the iPad. But you also get HDMI out. That HDMI out could be the production of the show as an output, or you can pass through any output you want, any single output into the HDMI that's coming into the unit can be passed through in real time too, which some people want. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Easy to use. It's really, truly easy, like an easy button, boom, and it works. Connect to the hub, stream and record simultaneously, control from any iPad or Mac. You can align multi-camera AV files for post-production, which we can go into a little bit. It's a super cool workflow. You can directly import it into Adobe Premiere, and you can bring a multi-camera production into Adobe Premiere and save hours. I'm going to go into that a little later, how well that works. And then you get the HDMI pass-through like I talked about. All right. Quick start overview, all the things. I think I beat this to death a little bit, Eddie, but let's bring this slide up full screen for a little bit. You've got your devices that are listed there. You've got your control panel with the console app, and then you've got the capture app for your different iOS devices. All that is part of the family that makes up the Studio Quick Start, the Studio Overview. Once again, for educators, set up in minutes. There's no truck. There's no camera cables that are complicated. You can get up to 10 cameras hooked up to it. The power, the battery powers the hub for 3 hours. Like I said, if you're doing a lot of portable stuff in the field, I do recommend having an extra battery, but you can also run the unit on an AC adapter or from a USB brick, kind of like the ones you use to charge your cameras or camcorders, your phones with. You record to SD or a USB drive, and once again, you control it from any iPad or Mac. It's an iOS-friendly product, so we love it. So now, I want to switch gears and go into the new features. The folks at Sling just released a brand new update that's now available for download for free for all Sling users. We're super excited about it because it's got some features that we know since we started selling Sling, folks have been really wanting to have. And the biggest and the best one that's the most important is a free green screen capability. Now, we're not shooting this show on a Sling. We're actually shooting this show on a TriCaster TC1 in a full-blown production studio. But I want to just show you, Eddie, can you take the green screen down, the virtual set down? And you'll see that I'm standing in front of a green screen. There's actually nothing behind me but a green screen. That's what we mean by that. That's the weatherman effect. Now, if you bring up the virtual set, boom, all of a sudden, I'm standing in the room that we have here that was set up, which is very cool. So the green screen is now part of Sling. Let's show a little video that talks about the green screen the folks at Sling put together.
The chroma key settings are located in the clip menu and are retained even when not set as an active source. Use the color picker to select the chroma key color. Then use the checkbox on the left to toggle the chroma key on. The similarity slider adjusts the range of colors that are keyed out. The smoothness slider blurs the edges of the key. The spill suppression slider removes green tint caused by the green screen's reflection. The Luma limit slider is for luminance keys and is not often used with live talent. Add your background source to preview or program before adding the chroma keyed video. Then drag the chroma keyed source on top. A green icon will appear on your chroma keyed source window.
Cool, and as you can see, green screen, the weatherman effect, that's what that's all about. It's what we used for our virtual set. That was their example. They're also now able to bring in motion graphics, not just static graphics. So motion graphics that you create with Adobe or After Effects templates can now be brought in to your production as well. You can bring them in via the HDMI or a camera link or imported video clips through your laptop. So let's play that little clip on how that works.
Motion graphics are imported as video files. Tap the preview to activate the scroll bar. Adjust the play point so that an unkeyed object is visible. This will assist in fine-tuning the settings. Also on the scroll bar is a settings icon for toggling the loop and autoplay functions. These can be used to integrate your graphics in various ways. The audio icon will allow you to adjust the volume of any effects on your graphic, or mute them. The similarity slider broadens the range of colors that are keyed out. The smoothness slider blurs the edges of the key. Save the clip to continue. To add the graphic to your shot, just drag it over to the preview or program windows. When added, a green icon will appear on your graphic.
And we're back, and listen to your director when he says there's a countdown at 5, don't start talking. Just a little note for people using green screens and multi-screen productions. This is the next feature that I think is so cool because a lot of times you're doing a run and gun production. People are starting to do run and gun multi-camera productions with a Sling. That means they've got the SlingStudio going, and they've got 1 or 2 cameras, 2 or 3 cameras with different people talking in an interview situation, what have you. Well, they have auto switching now so that the camera will go live, whichever one is talking, with the audio coming in. That's super cool. So I want to watch the video. You'll get the gist of what this is. It's a super cool feature. Kudos to the folks at Sling.
Auto switching works with 2 or more live sources. There are 2 modes, preset and voice activated. The preset mode lets you select 1 or more of your active sources and will switch between them, pausing for a duration of time that you can set. Selecting a main camera will have that camera appear every other shot. The voice activated mode works best in quiet, noise controlled environments. This mode works by keeping the loudest audio input as the primary video source. The auto switch will jump to the safety camera if nobody is talking or if too many people are.
All right, the next feature they've added is video conferencing with low delay. Now, video conferencing means you can plug a Sling now and it'll talk to Skype or Zoom. And I'm a little disappointed they guys, to be honest with you. We were hoping to bring in some guys from SlingStudio to be my guest on the show. The last couple of shows we've had remote guests. They were actually going to take a SlingStudio and bring multi-camera into a Skype that we were going to connect via Skype TX to them. But unfortunately, they're having a major sales conference today, and we told them they had some availability in the morning and some availability late in the afternoon. We said, guys, it's Newsday Tuesday. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. we go live, and the show must go on. So we'll have a future show, and we'll bring the Sling guys in. But that's really cool that you can now bring it into the shows. And low latency is important because when you're trying to video conference, it's very frustrating if there's a long delay between people. So we're excited about that. We think it's really cool. I've got something about the post-production workflow, but before I get into that, I'm noticing that some guys are talking about Facebook and streaming to Facebook, and I want to mention that Facebook currently really only supports 720p. What we have found is you really want to go out to Facebook in 720p. If you try to go out higher and down res and stuff, you don't get the same quality. So if your goal is to go to Facebook, have your whole production just be in 720p. You won't regret it. It'll look cleaner and actually better than having 1080p stuff and then having it get downgraded to 720p. Okay, let's talk about post-production workflows. I talked about this a little bit, hinted at it before. The folks at Sling work with the folks of Adobe, and they created a plugin that is, I'm just going to call it magic. Let's go full screen for a little bit because I want to show this, and that is, if you see down there's a multicam timeline. What happens is if you could take your card and bring it into your laptop in Adobe Premiere, you could bring your whole project in, the entire video in, and it automatically shows up in the Premiere timeline in multicam. Not only does it show up in multicam, but every time you cut the camera, those cuts come in with you. Think about what that saves on the post-production. Before this technology was out there, you would have to probably bring each clip in individually, sometimes involving transcoding, depending on what streaming solution, live production solution you're using. Then you'd have to sync everything up, and then you'd have to kind of try to remember where the cuts were or have the main program on another layer that we kind of use as a guideline. This technology is tremendous. I love it. Kudos to the folks at Sling and Adobe and making it happen. And I'm hoping that it becomes an industry standard that starts working with not just Adobe, but Avid and other apps because it saves us hours. We love it. All right, guys, SlingStudio is in stock now at Videoguys, $9.99. We love it. It's a great product. That's basically for the hub. You've got a lot of different pieces we went over. You've got the hub. You've got the battery. You've got the cam link. You've got the USB adapter. And then, of course, the case that I brought up there. It's $9.99. Very exciting. Great product. It's good for it's good for schools. It's good for educators, teachers, students. It's also great for house of worship, corporate video, anyone who wants to go doing live multicam video at an affordable price that's super easy to use, that can be used by anyone, and that can be used anywhere, any place. Phenomenal product. Like I said, it's its own Wi-Fi hub, so you don't have to worry about your Wi-Fi. Works great. Fantastic product. That concludes today's show on the SlingStudio. We hope you liked it. We hope you found it informative. Videoguys Newsday Tuesday ran about 25 minutes today, a little long. I like to keep it a little shorter, but we had some good stuff going on, and I did want to let the guys know about the Facebook tips that we have. Future shows in September that are coming up, going to be super excited. Oh, we got the slide. Here we go. What are we going to have? We're going to have stuff from Bird Dog. We're going to have Lassie on a really cool show where they're going to walk us through how cool their Raid Manager software is. And then we're going to do an NDI show. I know I was promising this show in August, guys. I apologize, but this show is waiting because we are going to have a special guest come in for our NDI show who is such a valuable guest that I'm pushing the show as far as I have to push it to have him here, because when you find out who it is, you guys are going to be, everyone's going to be tuning in. It'll probably be our most watched show ever live. So we're really excited about that, the NDI show coming up. We've got other things we're looking to do. And once again, watch us Tuesday, Newsday Tuesday. We're live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. We're getting our YouTube fixed. We'll be back on YouTube Live as well. We also post the shows to YouTube when they're done. Watch our shows, watch our videos, learn about our products, like them, share them with your friends, give us comments on the future shows that you'd like to use. And more than that, feel free to call the Video Guys. We are live people who know how these products work. We use these products. You can get on the phone with Eddie and ask him how we did the show. You can call, ask for me. We can help scope you out your program. We can put your workflow together. We can help give you advice to fit your budget, to fit your needs. Yes, you might be able to find it online at certain places that are Goliath, giant companies, but you're never going to get the kind of service and support and customer service and appreciation that you're going to get from Videoguys. And the SlingStudio is a great product to get from Videoguys because, hey, we're good guys. You like the video. We told you all about it. What else can I say? Give us a call at 800-323-2325. This is Gary from Videoguys.com. Videoguys Newsday Tuesday. You gave me a half hour. I told you about the SlingStudio and how well it fits for education. Give us a call, 800-323-2325. Great show today, guys. Great job, Eddie. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.